Okay, so we're gonna make a concrete weight here. Just found the center of the bottom of the bucket, drill a hole. I got a 7/8 hole saw right there. Um, it's gonna be for the pipe, so we can make the pipe for a 1-inch bar, which is all we have. Since right now we can't find anything online, everything is expensive. So we're just gonna drill this hole. I've got a 1/2-inch male adapter with a short piece of 1/2-inch pipe connected to a 1/2-inch coupling. You can see there in my hand. And we're just going to stick this through the hole so that we can make a hole in the concrete. Perfect size for a 1-inch bar. We're going to use that 1/2-inch electrical lock nut on the bottom side of the male adapter. Hold it in place. Some things I figured out along the way. This PVC glue that I'm about to use, waste of time. Don't need to do that. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't going to get water or concrete leaking out of the bottom, which could have been a disaster trying to take it apart after it's all dried up. You see there, just propping it up to make room for the male adapter to stick out of the bottom of the bucket. Like I said, this glue, this is a waste of time. Probably could have cut this out of the video, but I figured if I learned something, I'm going to share it. And this bucket, I have a pool, so this bucket is just old calcium that I use. You can use any kind of bucket. I mean, you can even use a square one if you really felt like it was going to work for what you need it for, but this is what I had on hand, so this is what I'm going to use. And there it is, my 1/2-inch electrical lock nut with electrical fitting. Just going to make sure that that's nice and tight, because like I said, you don't want to have any water or concrete seeping out the bottom. It's going to be a disaster later on when it's dried up and you try to take it apart. The 1/2-inch coupling is just slightly bigger than the 1-inch bar on the outside diameter. So here I got my regular scale from inside the house, my bathroom scale. Just gonna weigh out the concrete. Just want to make sure that it's at least really close to what you need. My scale's being a pain in the butt. You gotta step on it in order to activate it before you start weighing anything on it, and then it only stays on for a short amount of time. So I'm gonna start pouring this concrete here. So I'm trying to do it slowly to make sure you don't want to put too much in, then you have to try to take it back out. So another tip or thing that I learned was probably pour a large amount into another bucket so I can scoop it in slowly and get the exact weight that I want, get a little better measurement. But I mean, it ended up working out okay. Had my son there to help me, so it's always nice to have that third hand. This is also the anti-crack or crack-resistant Quikrete, so I don't know if that was helpful or not, but it wasn't that much more. So, like I said, I was trying to make a 15-pound weight. Got here 19 pounds. It's pretty close. And then another thing that I figured out, which you'll see, I actually got 2 videos going on here. One is actually a second weight. One weight's no good. Obviously, if you have a bar, you're going to need a second weight to balance it. But you want it to be a little soupy. Keeps that top side is going to be a little smoother. It's going to be hard to finish it when it's inside the bucket, unless you have a mold that's the exact same size. So make it a little soupy. And then you have to grease the edges or sides of the whatever mold you're going to use. Here I'm just using some PV plasters. Like I said, it's what I have, so it's what I'm using. Um, so make sure you get a good coat. It really didn't stick really hard, which you'll see later. The problem that I had was the pole in the middle, which on the second weight I took. I don't know if you probably can't tell in the video, but on the male adapter there's a hex shape to the bottom of the male adapter, and what I did was I took my sander and I just ground that down, made it round, which I thought would help let the weight slide off of it, which it didn't. And here you see I put a little duct tape over the pipe. I was just trying to keep it from spilling onto my workbench there. This concrete wasn't quite as soupy as the second one that I did, but either way, like I said, you're not going to be able to finish it really good in there. So if you make it soupier, it'll kind of settle and smooth itself out a little bit more. Another thing that I left out of the video, I didn't get any footage of, was here I shook this down level, but I also took my palm sander and vibrated a lot of the air bubbles out of it. Another tip, put down some foam or something, whatever you got, something soft for the weight to land on. So right here, when the weight finally pops loose, you can see, like I said, that bar in the middle of that pipe is stuck. So something else you could do is, like, I could have used a 3/4 coupling and left it in there. Would have slid it over top of the bar and could have just left it in there. Could have been an extra support inside the concrete. Another thing I've seen a lot of people do is they add pieces of metal or chicken wire inside the concrete, which we haven't really used the weight a lot yet, so I can't really speak to that. I can't, obviously it's not going to hurt. You just want to make sure that you weigh it with whatever, when you weigh your concrete to get the right weight. And when it finally does break free, I end up just trying to hammer it out. And of course, the first weight and the second weight both had the same issue. Didn't come up with the plan of a 3/4 pipe until later. So I could have used the 3/4, like I said, and would slide over top of the bar. That way I don't have to try to hammer it out. I could have had a nice, smooth, finished weight. These are for our personal use, mainly for my son. So it didn't really matter to me. Just want to have a little open spot here. I'm gonna slide it down to the open spot over the handle, so I can have a little space for it to pop out from. I guess I also could have maybe waited for the concrete to dry a little bit better, which I do end up putting a fan back on this after I'm done with this part to get to dry out. But you see here, it pops loose. It's not going to go all the way out that way. For whatever reason, it's hung up. So I'm just going to flip it around, try to pop it back out the other side, and there it is. Same thing that happened on the first one. So it's whatever, that little bit of weight. I think this weight was actually a little bit heavier than the other one. Not by much, but that little bit of concrete's not going to really, we're talking about minuscule weight differences. So I'm just going to pop that out the rest of the way, put a fan on this. What I do end up doing with the original one is I put a few layers of duct tape around the outside to keep it from banging on the floor too hard, or just chipping off, and we kind of keep it have a little padding there. So I do like to just paint it matte black, just so it looks somewhat finished. But you see I had the same problem. It wasn't as soupy, so it's not as flat, but here's what it is. All in all, it came out pretty good. Maybe I'll do another video if I make some more, or update if I end up making some. I really want to try to make one with the coupling in the middle. I think it's going to be helpful. So let me know what you guys think. Leave me a comment. Leave me some tips, things you guys learned if you tried this. And when this one dries, I'm going to paint it and throw them on the bar. Let my son get some reps in, see what he thinks. Until I can at least temporary until I can buy some. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think.